Hey guys, it's May 5th, 2016. It's been a while since I posted a video, and I apologize for those who subscribed and were anticipating something at least on a weekly basis. I had been approached by the indicator, the proprietary indicator owner, that um, I shouldn't be posting their indicator online, which is fair. Um, and they have not only because it's an indicator that they're selling online, and I wasn't necessarily promoting it. I believe in the indicator and the product itself because it's one of the biggest tools that I use, or the main tool that I use to trade oil futures every day. But um, you know they have their reasons why they don't want other people putting up their indicator, and especially because they have their own methodology and education. I basically follow that same uh, methodology and use that into my trading every day. But so today, without that indicator in place, I do have a NinjaTrader chart open right now, and this is oil. It's about 12:40 a.m. here in Korea, so that makes it I guess 11:40 and on the East Coast around lunchtime. So we've had quite a movement. So what I want to key in on is this profile area right here, and just to eyeball it, just to show you, you got your little highs here, right? Just kind of put a line here. You got your lows here, came down below here, and did not test here and continue down, and a huge break above. So this was pretty much the opportunity here. Once it broke above here and then held, came down and tested the high value area that you don't necessarily see because the indicator, it really took off after that point. So that was about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, almost 90 ticks off of that move, right? And now it came back down. So the first time it came back down into this area, I mean, you see, rejection, right? Because of the buyers that really took this off, or the oil price to the upside. Now, overall context for the last couple of days, oil has been dropping. So with that in mind, we can look for a sell entry, and within this intraday. So what we have right now, the way I'm looking at this is back into this profile area, right? And not only that, when it hit the top of that, it obviously bounced about 20 ticks or so, but then came right back into it, and then did not hold, and instead came straight back into the profile, to the middle of this, and basically took out half of this profile level. And then now what I'm looking at is really the inside of this profile area. So if this was the high value area that it broke out of and shot up to the upside, now we're back inside of there. So what I'll look at is although the overall for this intraday we saw a huge up move, there is a potential for this thing to reverse and push down, at least down here to the lower profile area, or the lower price zone. And if it breaks below here, we could see even further price movement, whether it's today or tomorrow by the end of this week. So if right now, obviously I'm in a trade right now for about 2 contracts, got in about the 43.86 right here, as it saw it break down through the high value area inside, came back up, retested, and I saw a huge rejection, and now I'm kind of holding right now. Let me see, I'll probably bring this up to at least here where it initially bounced off of, and then if there's really true weakness in the market, it should not hold, and then probably break down at least to the bottom of this range here of today. So that's my quick trade for right now. And as you can see, profit wise off of 2 contracts, a little over 250, 260 right now, but this is an exact science. It's not an exact science without the proper tools and indicators. But I just wanted to record this video real quickly just to show you, just based on my experience and in trading this methodology with market profile, that it is still possible to make money in the market. So still the risk, obviously, you see my reward to risk is at least 2 to 1, right? My risk is still defined at about the 13 ticks above my entry up here, as you can see, the 43.99. And this, the mindset would be, obviously, if I entered here to sell, once it came back into profile, if it breaks above here, right, where initially price moved higher after it broke out of high value area, came back in and tested it, right, but then broke right through it, so all the sellers were pushing this thing down. If the sellers are really in control here, they should hold it, right? So that's kind of the psychology or the mindset there, and why I justified that initial stop here. Now automatically on my thinkorswim, not thinkorswim, excuse me, my NinjaTrader, it did move this stop down to +1 after about 15 ticks. So that's where you hear that cha-ching. I have it set so when it's about when it moves about 15 ticks away from my initial entry, it'll try to break even +1. And in this case, I might just get stopped out right here. And I should probably give it some room to breathe, right? Because there is there is some volatility in the markets that you have to kind of take in place. But again, if I entered here, it shouldn't come back into this area and break above here. So what I'll do is I'll just put the stop a little bit higher than that 86 where it initially came down on, because what I'm gonna look for, like I said, is that 2 to 1 reward to risk ratio. So I'm going to hold my target and make sure that I'm holding on to that to get that 2 to 1. And now that it's moved enough, I'm still going to give it enough room, because it might a lot of times it'll come up and stop you out and then continue moving down. So I'm looking at the most next logical area where it should hold, which would be this little candle bar here, where it came up after it broke down, tried to retest, right, and push higher, but did not, and get rejected, and sellers kind of took back in control. So we should still see, if the sellers are in control, this thing move down to this level here, and then probably break below here and move down further into this lower price zone for today. So we'll see what happens, and that's basically me walking through my trade idea today. Again, I apologize for not posting a video in such a long time, but I wanted to do the right thing and make sure that I respect the indicators request for me not to post or use their live indicator on YouTube. But again, my heart wasn't to, or my intention wasn't to put their stuff out there for my own benefit. It's really so other people can see there's different ways to make money in the markets, and it works for me, and it's efficient for me, and it was just something that I really want to share with others, because I show people at my desktop all the time that are interested in how I make money day trading on oil, and I thought it would just be a simpler, easier way for me to share it online through YouTube, and then it ended up getting a few subscribers and people that were benefiting from it. So it's really for you guys out there And if you are interested, again, like I said, email me, let me know, and I can refer you guys to the indicator that I have been using this whole time to get in and out of the market on oil and several other futures instruments. So I would like for this thing to hit the target, but I think I kind of explained my mindset, and you guys, you're seeing it live. You're seeing kind of how I'm thinking through the whole process and why I justified moving my stop back up a little bit, and where exactly I put it and everything like that. So and I guess one other thing I didn't talk about though is, if you have this much movement in a price, and obviously there's volume behind that as well. Excuse me.
Target filled.
Okay, so one of the targets just got filled, so I'm happy about that. And we're probably gonna see a little bit of bounce or rejection here, and I would be happy with just getting out of my 2 contracts there. That's still a 2R trade, but again, here, maybe I'll just move this up to 43.54. I mean, so back to what I was saying was, you got a lot of people buying and pushing this up. So on the contrary side, if the buyers were in control and were gonna kind of take over the market even for today, this thing shouldn't have bounced and then broke, right? It should have held and then continued higher, or at least stayed within the zone up here in this tier, not down here. And so here we have this thing breaking below this level here, where it initially broke out of high value area and pushed up higher, almost 100 ticks. And then that first test down after this huge move, we should have seen a pretty significant rejection, and we kind of did, but then it immediately came back down. You see this huge bar, you see a lot of volume pushing down, selling within, these are 5-minute bars here. But once you see that happening, and then it breaks back below this level here, high value area, it comes back inside profile, tests the top of that profile instead of breaking back out again, we see rejection and a push down, which is why I got in at 43.86 without even using the indicator. But once you kind of read the market, you can kind of see these things happening intuitively sometimes. So here we go. We push this down. I was able to get out on that first target. Again, still a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, which is what you want. 2-to-1 plus or more. And I'm going to stick with that there, but what I am going to do is actually now move my stop down to +1 and see if this thing can push down even further. But we are seeing a lot of rejection, obviously, because this is kind of like the bottom range of this profile, and if buyers are trying to hold this is kind of like the last line in the sand, at least for today. It could go down as low as the 43.40s. You can see that there was a lot of support the other day as well. So it could go back down to that range, or it could just get stuck here in the middle and then just kind of bounce back and forth during lunchtime without any significant control, and then finally break out after lunch, either to back up to the upside or through the bottom of this low value area, and then we could see even further movement down at that point, because we're going to see all those buyers from the last day here and then today being in a losing position, obviously, right? So if it does get broken through to the downside, we could see further downward movement at that point. So but with that, I'm going to close the video, guys, and thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I can make some more videos soon. Alright, good night.